This little situation that he put me in, make me look like he thought I was.
You talking about like a boxing match or?
Yeah, boxing.
Ooh, if you don't mind. If you don't want to, it's fine.
Interview. In the midst of all the well wishes, one post stood out not for its warmth, but for the tension it carried. It came from none other than Tank, and since then, things have only gotten worse, with a fight currently in the news and Tank disclosing the true reason why he left. Floyd Mayweather Jr. turned 48 on February 24, 2025, a milestone that saw fans, celebrities, and fellow boxers flood social media with messages celebrating the undefeated legend.
Y'all gonna stop listening, oh boy. Now he came out and put his young homie in his drawers on his.
Promotions from Mayweather are going to quit paying attention, buddy, and he came out and included his young homie in his drawings on his.
Fall of y'all career. I mean, y'all.
No, it was a
relationship, not
downfall.
career.
Yeah, it wasn't a downfall of my career. I mean, my our relationship, because it was more things that he was doing. Like
he scheduled a fight, I think.
Dan Tank A training video was posted by Davis, the former Mayweather promotion star and a fighter who was once considered Floyd's successor, with the caption, "Life is better when you're gone, and I don't need you." The timing of the post, which coincided with Mayweather's birthday, sparked interest and led to widespread speculation that the message was directed at the man who once controlled his career. This was just another chapter in their ongoing public feud, which has been going on for years.
Say, man, look, man. Your beef is not with Floyd Mayweather. You sitting here beefing with Floyd. It's a fighter out here that's been calling your name.
It's no secret that Mayweather and Davis have a tense relationship. Their fallout was messy in public. It started when Davis left Mayweather's promotions in 2022 after years of tension. Floyd had built up Tank as his next superstar, but things between them started to fall apart as Davis sought more independence in 2023. Their feud intensified when Davis revealed he had been banned from Mayweather's gym while training for his fight against Ryan Garcia. The situation further deteriorated when DV.
There's no reason for me to go at Floyd. Floyd don't never. He felt as though I'm at that point where as though I passed him, and I'm doing it at a young age. Wait, like when Floyd was 29, you'll see, bro.
Yeah.
While some fans saw it as a calculated move by Mayweather to reassert his dominance, a way of saying "I made you," others saw it as needless pettiness, especially since Davis had already proven himself with major wins, including his knockout victory over Ryan Garcia. Regardless of how it was interpreted, one thing was clear. This wasn't just a simple disagreement between a former promoter and his fighter. It was personal. Mayweather, known for never letting criticism slide, responded to Davis's birthday post in a way that only he could. He shared an old sparring video featuring Davis and Devin Haney.
And invest in real estate so that we can live that same great life when our careers are over. So I guess that he took it as, I guess he's the only one that wears Chrome Heart. He's the only one that wears Gucci. He's the only one that wears Louis Vuitton. He's the only one that drives a Mercedes. And last time
in a recent interview with the Mr. J. Hill Network, Davis revealed a startling fact regarding his early career, particularly his first world title fight against Jose Pedraza. Davis has never stopped venting his frustrations about Mayweather. Davis asserted that Mayweather put him up for defeat in that match, saying it was about managing his career and keeping him in check rather than providing him with a chance. Davis classified the Pedraza fight as a lose-lose scenario, claiming that Floyd put me in it to make me lose because he believed I would lose to Pedraza. I was in a lose-lose scenario, yet I still prevailed, Davis said.
Another thing I want to touch on is the Floyd situation. You know, Floyd is Floyd. That's like I say, Tank is Tank, man. But at the end of the day, you know, the man is chasing greatness. And you should be supporting that. I always...
Back then, Davis added a new dimension to the story by introducing Mayweather's personal life. According to Tank, Mayweather wanted him to lose because it had nothing to do with business and everything to do with his daughter in Florida. Yes, you recall Ryan Garcia saying that the true reason Tank and Mayweather separated was because of his daughter. But it turns out that this is precisely what Tank had previously stated about freedom. If these claims are accurate, it would indicate that one of the most significant fights in Davis's career was manipulated out of personal jealousy rather than out of pure business. Davis disclosed that Mayweather's daughter had been attempting to get in touch with him, claiming that she kept hitting him on Snapchat. He implied that Mayweather, who is protective of his family and controlling by nature, felt uneasy about Davis being involved with his daughter, and saw the Pedraza fight as a chance to humble him.
That probably was like $100,000.
Right.
He bought me a lot. He bought me a car. He got me in the house. He did a lot. He did a lot before I even...
And things just become more intriguing from here. Davis went on to reveal that at the time of the Pedraza fight, he was struggling financially, even facing eviction from his home. According to him, Mayweather used his financial difficulties as leverage, essentially forcing him to take the fight or risk being put on the shelf indefinitely. Davis quoted Mayweather as saying, "If you don't fight him, you're not fighting, you're sitting on the shelf." This claim paints a picture of a young fighter, backed into a corner given no real choice but to accept a high-risk fight, while under pressure from his own promoter. Yet despite these challenges, Davis won the fight in dominant fashion, proving that he was ready for the big stage regardless of Mayweather's intentions. For years, the tension between these two has been brewing, and with every new interview or social media post, their feud has only intensified. Many assumed their relationship would never recover, but now the two seem to be moving toward the only logical conclusion, settling things in the ring. Mayweather, despite being retired, has never ruled out exhibition fights, and with the way he's been responding to Davis lately, it's clear he still has something to prove on the other side. Davis has made it clear he no longer respects Mayweather the way he once did. What started as a mentor, now that the protege connection has evolved into a rivalry, it appears that neither guy will be content until they are facing each other in the ring. Interview. It used to be unimaginable that Mayweather would ever face Davis in any way. The businessman, mentor, and retired legend Floyd had nothing left to prove. However, Mayweather has continued to enter the ring for high-profile demonstrations, like as his most recent rematch with John Gotti III, and he continues to train like an active boxer, as the distinction between exhibition fights and actual fights has become more hazy with time. The difference between them isn't as great as it once was, at least not in the eyes of the general public, but Davis is still one of the sport's most dangerous active fighters, with tremendous knockout power and an unblemished record. Davis is still the legend, but Mayweather is. Interview. What's going on, boy? Mayweather has spent his entire career in charge, making decisions, and forcing fighters to submit to his will. It's not just about money or bragging rights anymore. It's about control. If this fight takes place, it will be about legacy. Mayweather fighting to remind the world that he is still the master, and that no matter how much Davis succeeds, he will always be in Floyd's shadow. In the meantime, Davis has fought to forge his own path, rejecting Mayweather's influence in the process. However, Davis will be battling to demonstrate that he has outperformed his former mentor, and that he is a strong fighter without Mayweather's endorsement. Interview. Itself would make for a fascinating sight. While Davis has the kind of power that can terminate a fight in an instant, Mayweather, who is 48 years old, still has some of the best defensive abilities in boxing history. It would be a war of styles, but more than that, it would be a battle of egos. After years of verbally attacking one another, the two men now have the opportunity to make amends physically. Their relationship has been over for a while, but Davis is finally telling the public why things ended. Interview. On the Mr. J. Hill episode, what began as a dream come true, training under one of the greatest boxers of all time, became a lesson in how brutal the boxing industry's business can be. just like the fights themselves. It was evident from Davis's speech that he was exposing rather than merely ranting a structure that maintains fighters' dependence, control, and, frequently, financial impasse. His remarks not only portrayed Mayweather as a flawed mentor, but also as someone who meticulously controlled the amount of authority and autonomy his fighters could possess. The money, opportunities, and even personal connections were all a part of a system that was intended to maintain Mayweather's control. Interview. One of the most significant things Davis mentioned was how he received financial assistance early in his career. He claimed that Mayweather would occasionally give him modest sums of money, like $10,000 or $15,000, which would just be sufficient to keep things going but never enough to give him true security. In stark contrast to what many people believe about Mayweather, who established his career by breaking free from promoters and making his own decisions, Davis regarded it as a means of controlling him and keeping him reliant rather than enabling him to become truly independent. The irony here isn't lost. Davis felt that he was never granted the same freedom under Mayweather, despite the fact that Mayweather made sure no one controlled him. Interview. Given how successful boxing has been this year, it was expected that Mayweather Promotions would be making big moves. However, with Richard Schaefer as the new CEO, the company has been unusually quiet in 2025. There have been no big fights, no new stars, and no major headlines for a company that was once positioned as a serious promotional force. This is a noticeable decline that begs the question of whether Mayweather has simply lost interest in running a promotional company or if his previous